What's good, y'all? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0, keeping the action going with the Mafex number 103, Spider-Man Homecoming version 1.5. What's good, y'all? Back with another figure review, you already know. Very excited to get this figure, man. Shout outs to Horror Show Side Splitter on eBay for selling me this figure. And shout outs to TheIrishVeil. He was the first review on YouTube that I saw of this figure. And if it wasn't for his review, I honestly probably wouldn't even know this figure existed. So big shout outs to you, man. Really appreciate your review. It was very thorough and extensive. And I will definitely have the link for his review in the description. So be sure to check him out. But yeah, man, I'm just very excited for this figure. It's been a long time coming. I really wanted a, Spider-Man Homecoming figure in my collection. And none of the Marvel Legends were really doing it for me, to be honest with you guys. I've said in the past, I never really liked the mold that they used for, the Tom Holland Spider-Man. I felt like the body was a little too bulky, and then the the arms and like the legs, but mostly the arms just felt a little too skinny, like in comparison to the rest of the body. And he just had like kind of like a cartoon look to him. Like, I don't know, the mask sculpt didn't quite, resemble the movie enough for me, at least. So I was like, you know what? If anything, I'll probably wait off for like the SH Figure Arts release, because obviously SH Figure Arts does a great job typically with figures. Then the SH Figure Arts release came out, and there was like quite a few things that I didn't like about their release. I saw some reviews on it, and I was like, man, like I just haven't really seen a solid Spider-Man Homecoming figure that I want to pick up yet. And I think back at that time, I didn't really know that Mafex even existed, as a figure company yet. And then when I saw, after I learned about Mafex and I saw that they, had their own versions, I started looking up reviews and things. And this is version 1.5. So this is technically the third release of this figure from Mafex. The original was, I think, number 047. And so it was the exact same figure. The Tom Holland head sculpt was a little more very yellow in nature. Like the plastic was very yellow, so it didn't look the best as far as like skin tone and things like that, and just the the overall look. So they definitely improved a lot on this version. So that was the original. They did a re-release, which was I think had some slight differences. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but it was very similar to the first release. I'll try to put some of those differences in the description. And then of course they released this one, which is clearly the winner, like clearly the best one out of the three. And then they also added to this release the instant kill eyes. So we have a head sculpt with the instant kill, so that's dope. Yeah, and then a much better updated Tom Holland head sculpt with a better skin tone and just overall likeness. So very excited for this release. You can see we got him here in the packaging, looking great, and all his accessories. We know Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming Mafex number 103, Medicom Toys. Spider-Man one action figure, and then Homecoming version 1.5. On the side of the box, we got a nice action shot of the figure right there. Spidey's looking dope. Got the title and Marvel right there. On the back, we've got some more product shots looking really dope. Love this picture right here because it is it's basically imitating a promo shot for Homecoming. That's based off of like a real picture of Tom Holland in the suit where he's like holding the mask. And we do get a mask, of course, for him to hold, which is awesome. We get, all these different head sculpts. So one with like the, regular open eyes, one with more squinted eyes, the instant kill eyes, which have like the red, like the, really squinted with the red dots in the middle. And then, of course, the Tom Holland. So that is dope, the Peter Parker head sculpt. On the side, we get another action shot, like he's kind of swinging. And yeah, not too much more. At the bottom, barcode, legalese, all that stuff. Spider-Man Homecoming at the top. And yeah, so let's crack it open and get straight to it, man, because there is a lot that I want to talk about with this figure. A lot of other figures that I want to compare it to as well, so very excited for that. Oh, and just, yeah, another really cool thing about the box is when you open it up, it's got these tabs on the side, and it actually has stickers of the the mask that the bank robbers wore in Spider-Man Homecoming. So you got like the Iron Man, the Captain America, the Thor, and the Hulk. So that's really funny. That's a nice little inside joke. If you've seen the movie, you'll probably recognize those faces. But enough about the box. Let's get the figure. Well, actually, real quick, since it's here, might as well take this out. We do, of course, get the standard Mafex figure stand. So we get that nice clear figure stand wrapped in plastic. We've seen this before. If you haven't seen this, check out my Iron Man Mark 45 review from Mafex. You know, I show off the stand in that video, I believe. So, you know, typical Mafex stand, nothing new there. So let me go ahead and crack this top tray off. Excuse me. All right, put that aside. And here we go. So let's go ahead and get Mr. Spider-Man out. All right, he's looking dope. I like it, I like it. Alrighty, alrighty. So there is one thing proportion-wise that I will mention is that his lower legs look a little skinny, just a little bit, and I've heard other reviewers say the same. But yeah, he does, like, you know, from the calf down, he does look a little bit skinny. Like from the side, I think it looks okay, but like from the front, sometimes it looks like a little bit skinny for Tom Holland's build. And just maybe even the thighs as well might be like a little bit slim. But overall, I still think it looks really good. At least it's, you know, mostly in proportion with the rest of his body. More so than I would say, you know, more accurate, I would say, than the Marvel Legends release. So there is that. But yeah, there is Mr. Tom Holland Spider-Man, MCU, out of the packaging. So real quick, gonna scoot him aside, and you can see he stands very easily, which is very nice. So his balance is on point. Love that. Here we have some accessories. We've got quite a few. So we got some web accessories. We've got this kind of splayed out web that, you know, has a nice length, and you know, you can shoot it out. It's got that nice, you know, splayed out end to it, like it's about to attach to something. And then it also has like a peg actually in the center of it, so that, I think, what did they say that's for? I think they said it's supposed to attach to something. I forgot. I forget what this peg is supposed to attach to, but if I think of it later, I will definitely mention it. But it does have a peg at the end. I think it's supposed to attach to like a stand or something, maybe like the figure stand. So yeah, so that you can have it kind of like in mid-air, but I could be wrong about that. But anyways, we do get that accessory. We also get two kind of like wrist mid shooting range accessories right here. So you can see they've got like a little loop. Those will go around his wrist. We've got these nice, they're made out of a nice kind of like, it's a nice blend of like both white and translucent plastic. So it's kind of like in the middle. So you get some white and kind of like translucent clearness in there, which is nice. It's a very nice blend of both, I would say. Has a very spiderweb look to it. And then we get two of the same type of accessory, just a little bit smaller. So we get like the loops again, and then a slightly smaller, you know, length as far as shooting out. But yeah, we get two of those in a smaller form right there. And then we also get these right here, which are basically just kind of like straight out, you know, web accessories that are, you know, about like a medium length, I would say, medium shooting distance. So there you go. And they got some nice texture, by the way. Hopefully you can see that. You can actually see like the webbing kind of like, it's like the comics, how it like wraps around, kind of like that McFarlane type web where you can see the strands wrapping around the center strand there. So that's really nice. Got some cool texture and everything going in these webs, so very dope. And let's see. So yeah, we have like this little piece right here, and I believe, I think this is, this little piece is, I think you plug this into the figure stand, and then you can plug the peg that was like at the end of that, you know, web line. You can plug that into this clear piece right here, so that you can have the web kind of like up and like attaching to the stand. So that's kind of cool. That's like a unique little piece right there. All right. And then for the alternate head sculpts, we get, let's see. First I'll show off his more squinted eyes look. If I can get it out. Just a sec here. Come on out of there, you. Come on out of there. Almost got it. Oh man, I don't want to mess up the paint on this, but dang, it's not wanting to come out easily. Come on out. Something to note, the hands kind of flop around. They're not like super secure into the tray that you get, but the heads are definitely a little more secure, so a little bit tougher getting those out, but here we go. Okay, I got it. So here is the first alternate head sculpt we'll take a look at. This is his obviously more squinted look. Hopefully we got some good lighting in here. Back it up just a little bit. Make sure we're getting plenty of light on it. Okay, there we go. And yeah, you can see very nice solid head sculpt. You know, the squinty eyes. I love the reflective paint for those lenses and everything. And the kind of like the white, somewhat pearlescent paint for the lenses. And then you have like the, you know, you can see the black part that kind of like retracts. And the paint for the webbing is very, very nicely done. Nice sculpted and painted into there. Really makes the mask kind of pop. And even looks like there's a little bit of shading into there. I'm not sure. I don't think this figure was brand new when I got it. I think it was, you know, the seller, because I noticed that the top of the box was already open, so the seller probably took it out. And I'm not sure if the shading on this figure, at least on this guy, on my copy, I don't know if it was an original part of the figure from Mafex or if he kind of added like a wash to it. Either way, I think it looks good though. Doesn't take away too much from the, you know, the nice bright red color. So we have that head sculpt. We've got the instant kill mode right here. So, you know, the, see if I can get some good focus on it. There we go. There we go. Back up, make sure got some light. The light's kind of weird in here right now. Just back it up a bit. Okay. Hopefully, okay, yeah, there we go. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully there's enough light on it. I know it is a bit dark. It's going fuzzy. Okay, there we go. But yeah, very similar head sculpt, squinty eyes, and obviously we have the red kind of paint for like the beadiness. You know, like he's in instant kill. Karen has activated instant kill, so there you go. Very similar head sculpt there. And then we also get the Tom Holland head, which I'm looking at, and I gotta say, pretty good likeness, pretty decent likeness for this guy. Much better than the first release, let me tell you that much. So yeah, look at that. I think that is a really good likeness to Tom Holland, especially how he looked in Homecoming. That kind of, you know, neutral or like, you know, just kind of like, I don't know, unbothered expression on his face. Seems very reminiscent to the Homecoming movie, if you ask me. I think that looks really good. The skin tone looks a lot better. Definitely more, you know, accurate to him and not so yellow like the first release. And then, you know, we've got like an alternate neck piece as well. So that's going to, you know, obviously come, you know, the neck is going to come out when you exchange it for this head right here. But yeah, all the way around, a pretty good sculpt. It seems like the paint gets a little bit sloppy back here. Some of the black and the webbing starts to kind of fade into red of his, you know, mask or whatever, but not too bad. There is a little bit of a red spot on his neck right there, so that's a little unfortunate. Got a little bit of a paint mishap right there, but not too bad. But overall, the head sculpt itself looks really, really nice. I like this Tom Holland head sculpt a lot. The hair sculpt looks really, really good. Yeah, man, I really don't have too many complaints about this head sculpt. I think it looks pretty damn awesome. Sculpt is very nice. The brown hair looks very accurate to me. So there you go. And what else? And of course, we get his mask that he's able to hold. So it's like a folded version of his mask here. So we get that nice and folded up. And the paint looks very, very good. You can see the eyes and everything. I love when we get like a folded mask for them to hold. It just, you know, it makes for a lot of cool posing and pictures and such. So very, very cool to get this accessory. What else do we have? We have plenty of hands. So out of the package, of course, we have the 2 fist hands on him. As you can see right there, 2 standard fist hands. And then we also get, let's see, Mafex is very good at giving us hands. So we get 2 kind of splayed out hands like this, kind of like high five hands. So that's really cool. Paint on these looks pretty nice, pretty immaculate, I would say, for the most part. Let's see. The lighting in here is a little tricky right now. I wish it was brighter. But hopefully you can see all the details on there. Pretty good paint. So we get 2 splayed out hands like that. We get, let's see here, we get 2, of course, web flipping hands like so. 2 I love you in sign. I'm pretty sure this means I love you in sign, something like that. Or 2 rock out hands, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, 2 web flipping hands like that. Paint on those looks pretty solid as well. So that looks good. We get 2 kind of like open, slightly like open hands, almost going into like a grip. So we get 2 hands like this. Paint seems to be pretty good on those. The webbing seems to be mostly all there. Mixed in nicely with the red. Got a little bit of, wash. And I like that we even get, there's even paint, hopefully you've noticed on all these hands that I've been showing, they actually did paint in like the little part of the web shooter that he presses down on. So you know that his 2 fingers come down and he palms when he's shooting a web. They actually did paint that in there, and that looks mostly pretty good. I like that. Very nice attention to detail there by Mafex. Let's see what else we have. Let's see, we have some slightly more open hands. So slightly more open, more like kind of like relaxed hands by his side when he's got his hands down by his side, fingers relaxed. So we've got those, and those look pretty good. And then we have some web holding hands. So they look like thumbs up hands, but they've got like a little space in between so that you can slip the webs into them. So yeah, you've got these nice web holding kind of thumbs up hands, and you can see there's a little hole in there for him to slip the webs in. So that looks really good. So he's got 2 web swingers right there. And let's see, he's also got a magnetic hand right here. Magnetic wall crawling hands right here, which is dope. A very, very dope inclusion from Mafex. I love that they give us, magnets for, Spider-Man characters and such. So you got him sticking to refrigerators, metal surfaces, all that good stuff. So he's got 2 magnets splayed out wall crawling hands, and then of course can't have magnet hands without magnet feet, right? So we get a nice alternate pair of magnetic feet as well. And they're done very nicely. You can see even the black soles for the paint. Black soles for the paint. Paint for the black soles. Bro, I can't talk today. Yeah, the black part of his soles are painted in there, and they look really, really good. And you've got, the webbing for the top of the shoe, the sole and everything, or the top part of the shoe there, the foot. Yeah, it looks really, really good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for his accessories. So a very nice fat stack of accessories, everything you would need to make this Spider-Man look awesome. So now that the accessories are out of the way, let's get into the crux of the figure, shall we? So go ahead and put back some of these accessories so they don't go missing. And I tell you guys, I am still so upset about losing that electric effect piece for my Mafex store, man. I really hope it turns up somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it yet. Anyways, here we are with the Mafex Homecoming Spider-Man, and he looks dope, man. I would say like overall his proportions are pretty much on point. One thing about the SH Figure Arts release that I did not like was the proportions on their figure as well. I kind of felt like they made him almost like his body almost looked like a female to me. Like they kind of made his hips kind of big, and then they gave him like, a narrow waist. and just like a small overall physique. Like he was very like petite, I would say, and like I don't know, it's just he kind of looked like a female to me. And there were just other things about that figure that I just didn't like. I feel like SH Figure Arts does a little too much when it comes to like cutting up the joints. I get that they want to get good articulation in there, and I really appreciate that, obviously, especially for a Spider-Man figure. You always want them to be able to, articulate well and get into dynamic poses, but I feel like SH Figure Arts, they do a lot of like cut joints for the legs and things that just look really ugly, and they don't hide it very well. So that was another thing that kind of detracted me from that particular figure. So the Mafex, I think, kind of fixes most of the things that the SH Figure Arts and Marvel Legends releases were kind of lacking. And I think overall they have like the best look as far as the proportions and just the overall, paint and detail to the, costume to be accurate to the movie. So there's a look at the back of him. Look at that spider logo. That's beautiful. I really, really like that spider logo on the back. I like how it's very reminiscent of like, classic Spider-Man with obviously a more updated kind of tech suit look, because this is technically the Stark suit, right? Iron Man designed this for him, so very, very cool. But yeah, man, I just really like the look overall of this figure off the top. So let's get into play and display. We'll take a closer look at detail and sculpt. So for the head, we are on a ball joint, and the neck moves, seems to be like a separate piece that also moves with the head. So we can look down using the neck and the head, and that ball joint, we can really get him looking down nice and far. So that looks great. Looking up, you can lean his head back and up that far, which looks really, really great. He's gonna look really dope in some kind of like, flight or like gliding type poses. So that's really, really cool. We get back down. Speaking of which, I'm not sure if the original release, I don't think it did, but it might have. I'm not sure if it came with the web wings. I think that would have been a nice addition to this figure. That's the one thing I feel like accessory wise it might be lacking, because me typically I don't usually care for things like the web wings, but I think it would have been a nice addition to have with this particular figure, especially since in Homecoming he did use them, even if very briefly, in that one scene with the helicopter. But I think that would have been a nice like accessory addition to kind of have him displayed with, but we don't get that with this particular set. So I just wanted to let you make you guys aware of that. But anyways, the head can can rotate 360 on that ball joint, and the neck kind of turns with it. So you got to be careful. You want to keep the head lined up obviously with the neck, so that the Adam's apple is in place and it doesn't start to look, too odd. But yeah, I think that's how it's supposed to be lined up there. And it seems like, yeah, his Adam's apple would be right there. Let's see, we get some leaning, obviously, side to side on top of that ball peg. And the neck does also move, so you get really good, range to each side. And yeah, so that head articulation looks really, really good to me. Lifting the arms up, we can, wow, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now that is some spider range right there. So we get to lift the arm up well above 90 degrees, so we can really reach up nice and high to the sky. I like that. Back down by his sides. We get some rotation, bars. We get rotation there. We get a nice bicep swivel cut. Nicely sculpted bicep swivel in there, and it's nice and tight. We get a nice, double jointed elbows that allow him to get plenty of range. So my man can do his flexes, right? Look at that, like he's looking at himself flex. Kiss the muscles, kiss the guns. All right, so yeah, we've got the double jointed elbows there. Let's see, we've got, a ball joint wrist with a hinge, so we can rotate the fist all the way around, or the hands, whichever hands you choose to put on him. And he's also got vertical play, so you can kind of move his fist a little bit up and down in each direction, right there, and then in and out as well. So very similar to like a figure arts wrist, so you get a lot of dynamic movement out of that wrist. So that looks great. For the torso, we're going to be able to, using the top diaphragm joint, we'll be able to crunch him forward that far, which looks really, really good. I think that's plenty of range, and we'll be able to bend him back about that far using just that top joint. And it does get gappy in there, so we do get kind of a little bit of an ugly gap from the front, but you know, won't look too bad. You know, you can actually see the joint system in there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but you can actually see there's like a the dumbbell, or like the connection point between the two, probably like the top ball peg and the bottom ball peg. You can actually see it inside of there. Probably won't pick up too well on camera, but you can see it in there. Let's see. And then you have the bottom joint, bottom waist joint. Seems to be another, what do you call it, ball peg. So probably like a dumbbell system, but anyways, you can get some rotation. You can get rotation out of both the top diaphragm joint and the bottom waist joint, which is really nice. I like when they combine both of those. And then you can obviously, from the top joint, you can get them rotating side to side, like so, right? Individually. And then you can also combine that with the bottom joint like that. I guess for some even more twist action, which looks really, really good. Mostly natural. It does get a little, choppy on the side. You can kind of see like the hips sticking out as you turn them, but it doesn't look too bad. Still pretty good. At least we get the range right. For the legs, let's start with out to the side before I forget. So as far as the split goes, we can get him about that far before, I don't want to force it too much. Definitely don't want to pop his legs out like I did with the Mandarin Spawn, but he gets about that much without really forcing it. It would have been nice if they had made this, this kind of crotch piece a little bit softer so that it could flex a little more to get his legs out to the side a little bit farther there, but that's not bad. I will definitely take that. Better than most, Marvel Legends Spider-Man range for sure. Kicking up, we can get the leg going about that far. So let's see, if you really push it, you actually get it a little better than 90 degrees there. A nice high kick. Going backwards, you can go about that far, which is all right, considering that this isn't a soft plastic, so it doesn't flex much, but you can still get the range, so that's pretty good. Let's see, are these drop down hips? Kinda, yeah, these are drop down hips. They don't drop down all that far though, so don't pull them too hard, but they do drop down just a little bit to get you some extra range, I guess. And then for the double jointed knees, they're able to get him kicking back that far. So, about the lower back, what we're used to seeing, which is really good. Back down. For the foot, we can hinge down about that far. All the way back, yeah, straight, like pretty much straight up and down to the tippy toes right there. So that looks really, really good. We can kick the foot back up about that far, which is really nice. And then for, let's see, we do have ankle swivel and rocker in there as well. A lot of pivot and swivel action, so we can swivel onto the hills and all that goodness. So yeah, man, really, really nice range out of this guy. And feel wise, he feels great. Definitely feels like a Mafex figure, very similar to like the SH Figure Arts, kind of like mechanical feel, which is really nice. It's a very premium feel to the figure. Even though he's like lightweight, he doesn't feel cheap. Feels very quality. The plastic feels really nice. It looks very nice. And yeah, man, it's it's a heck of a figure. I am so stoked to finally have this guy in my collection. I've been looking for him for a minute, and I'm really glad that Mafex decided to take a shot with this guy, because to me, they made the best version of him without a doubt. I would say that this version is better than the SH Figure Arts and way better than the Marvel Legends as far as like movie accuracy, posing, all that. So let's look at the paint in detail, get a closer look at that. Let's see, make sure we get some good light on my guy so he's shining right. But yeah, I really like the colors of the red and blue. I think the SH Figure Arts, I think another thing that threw me off was the colors on him. If I remember correctly, I think the blue was a little bit darker than I remember, like in the movie. I think Mafex pretty much nailed it as far as the colors go. So the red the bright red and blue on his costume look very good to me and very movie accurate. It's nice and a nice saturated red and blue, you know, very like crayon colors is like the best way I could describe his costume. You know, he doesn't really have any like extra dark blues or anything or dark reds. It's like a nice bright red and blue. So yeah, he was one of the most colorful characters I would say in the MCU as far as like brightness goes. A lot of the other, you know, Marvel characters have like darker color schemes, but he has like one of the brightest, and I think it makes sense for him being, you know, a teenage kid and everything, and you know, obviously, you know, Peter Parker, he struggles and stuff, but he's also somewhat of like a go-lucky kid. You know, he's got a lot of things to you know, be happy about and whatnot. So I think, you know, his costume kind of reflects that, and I like that Stark, you know, made it, you know, a nice bright red and blue, and you know, didn't make him too dark, you know, and kind of get him to grow up too fast in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyways, yeah, I just like the bright colors on his costume. I think they look really good. That logo is pristine on both the front and the back. I really like how the back came out. I really like the front as well. The paint seems to be very clean on it. And I like how, you know, it was cool that his spider symbol was actually like a drone. I really like that. I thought that was a nice like modern day Spider-Man feature, and I like how they incorporated that into the first PS4 Spider-Man game. I really love that game. By the way, have you guys seen the trailers, the new trailers for Spider-Man 2? Oh man, I can't wait for that game, man. I'm spending all my figures over here on spending all my money on figures over here when I should be saving up for a PS5, because I really want that Spider-Man 2 game, and it seems to be exclusive to the PS5. So I'm just like, man, I can't help myself. I keep buying, you know, more and more figures, but I should be saving up for that PS5 because I need that game very badly. It looks absolutely amazing. Definitely be talking about that more on the channel. But anyways, back to this guy. Yeah, paint and detail looks immaculate. Seems to be like a little bit of shading around here in the pecs, which looks nice, or a little bit of like, you know, black wash to give it some nice, a little bit of depth by the muscle groups, so just under his chest there, and then kind of like in the shoulders, the butterfly joints. I forgot to mention that about his articulation section. He does clearly have butterfly joints, so you can get his arms moving pretty far back, or, you know, a decent amount, yeah, back. Get him, and then get him coming forward pretty nice and deep into the chest, so that he's able to do a lot of like cross arm poses and such like that. So yeah, we do have a butterfly joint. Of course, this is Mafex, so we wouldn't expect any less. But yeah, yeah, the paint and detail looks great. Again, that shading, that kind of wash in the shoulders. I think it might be a little bit heavy on the shoulders. I think they maybe could have done a little bit lighter. It seems a little too dark by the shoulders and the butterfly joint, but other than that, it still looks pretty good. I like that the chest and everything still looks nice and bright, and the head as well. The head, I would say that there's more paint in like the body compared to like the head, like the mask, the standard head that he comes with. Yeah, I feel like the paint is like very light into the web pattern, the cobweb pattern on top of his head, and like throughout the mask. But in a way, I also feel like that's kind of accurate, because I feel like in most of the shots, for at least for Homecoming, a lot of it was, of course, like CGI and stuff. But I feel like even then, like the webbing on his costume never popped out too much. It was always like they like barely filled in the lines on his costume, if that makes sense. So you know, you could see them, but they never like really popped out like way too much, you know what I mean? So like, or like all that much. So it's kind of interesting that on this figure, like, you know, the mask seems to have like the lightest paint application for the webbing, and then the rest of his costume kind of has, you can see it more, like you can see they clearly put a lot of more black paint in between the webbing for, like, you know, the back here, the neck, his arms, it shows up more, the legs even a little bit. The legs are kind of similar to the mask, actually, a little bit lighter actually, but yeah, it just seems like there's a little more black paint in certain areas on him, but it doesn't look bad, you know. I'd say overall it blends in and it gives him like a nice look for sure. So yeah, man, that's the paint and detail. You can see like the bottom of his shoes there. Soles look really good, just like the magnet ones, but obviously without the magnets. There is like a nice texture to the blue parts of his suit too. It's kind of like a rougher type of texture. And you've even got like the lines, the kind of like tech lines sketched into his suit. I really like that. That's something very unique to the Stark tech suit, and definitely kind of reminiscent of Tony's armor. Definitely has a touch of Tony in the suit, so that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's got some texture going. And the red parts are pretty smooth. Of course, the sculpted parts, but that's like pretty much the only thing to disrupt the smooth texture of the red parts on him. Even the web shooters. Let's look at these web shooters, man. These web shooters are like really small, and they got an amazing amount of detail still into these web shooters. I mean, look at that. Look how small that is, but all the paint and detail that they still got into it. And I actually really do like the look of the MCU web shooters. I gotta say, I do like them a lot. So like those web shooters, you can see the silver paint and the little red tip of the cartridge, the web cartridge in there. That looks so dope, man. I love that. That is so like reminiscent of classic Spider-Man in the comics. And me personally, I've always loved the web shooter idea. I know some people don't like that. They would prefer for Spider-Man to have organic webbing, coming out of him like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did. But I don't know, man. I like it because it differentiates him, I feel, from a lot of other superheroes. A lot of the superheroes, they just kind of have their powers like, granted to them. Don't fall, homie. I got you, Holmes. But yeah, I like that that was one power that he didn't just have granted to him. Like it makes sense with his his persona as well. Like he's a brainiac, he's a nerd, so it makes sense that he would be able to build something like that to get around the city and whatnot. So I like the idea of a web shooter, to be honest. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I've always liked the web shooter idea. It made me want to be like more crafty and think of stuff like that. It's always fun to make something, especially when you see it finally come to life and work. Like I can only imagine like how geeked out I would be if I had made something like that actually worked. So I always like the idea of the web shooters. I think Mafex did a great job on this figure, especially in such a small scale. They really got all the paint and detail that you would want in there. So he looks amazing, man. I'm really loving this figure. I could talk about him all day, but I don't want to hold this video up too long. We're already 37 minutes in. I knew this would be a long review, so I'm not even tripping on it. But there are a lot of size comparisons that I want to do with him. So let's pretty much let's go ahead and jump into that. I'll show you one last look at the back as well, just so you can see that. I think the back of him looks really nice. I mean, I like that they got even like the lines, these kind of like stripes in his costume. He's got them like on the shoulders. That's something very unique to like MCU Spider-Man. They got the stripes for the shoulders down here by like the top of the boots, and even in the arms and whatnot. But yeah, like the paint on him is immaculate, obviously. I see very little like, there's pretty much like no paint bleed. Maybe just like slightly like sloppy areas, and not even sloppy. I would just say it's like where they applied, some of like the wash, or it might have been the guy who owned this before me. Maybe he actually added like a little extra black paint and whatnot. So, but either way, the figure itself still looks amazing. I'm not complaining at all. So yeah, I really love the look of this guy. I mean, obviously he poses great. So let's go ahead and jump into size comparisons. And sadly, I'm going to have to end this review. But man, I could talk about this figure all day. Matter of fact, real quick, I do want to see what he looks like with the Tom Holland head sculpt on. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out this head and neck. And I want to see what he looks like with the Tom Holland head on. I think that's something that should definitely be included in this review. And there we go. Pops on easy as that. Let me just get his head nice and straight here. Oh, that looks so good. Check that out, man. Look at that, dude. Oh, that is so sick. That really, I mean, that just screams, Homecoming MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man right there. I mean, that head sculpt is perfect, man. That is like a perfect head sculpt. I really like how that looks. It's so nice. I'm so glad that Mafex You know, one thing I really appreciate about them is that they are willing to do re-releases and like make a figure over again and like, you know, add stuff to it or, you know, improve upon it. They make it better each time, and I feel like, you know, Mafex is dedicated to like giving you the best possible figure that you can get in 1/12 scale. And I think they really nailed it with this Tom Holland head sculpt. The first release, you can find reviews of it on YouTube, but yeah, like the skin tone on him was very yellow, and the overall, you know, facial features just didn't look like nearly as good as they should have. It just didn't really look like Tom Holland, to be honest. But they really like improved on this final, you know, 1.5 version, and I just really love it, man. It's exceptional when they like really focus and, you know, clear up the mistakes that they made. They make absolutely fantastic figures. Mafex is like honestly my standard for figures nowadays in 1/12 scale, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's so much I can say about that, but I'll talk about that in other videos. But yeah, here he is with the Tom Holland head, so I really like that. I mean, look at that profile. See if I can keep him standing there. Profile right there, Tom Holland head. Here he is from the back. Oh man, it's just such a damn cool looking figure. I feel like I got like a mini Tom Holland Spider-Man right here, man, in this room. So this is incredible. Nice little 360 spin for you right here. Here's his other profile, all the way back to center stage, and he looks fantastic. I love that head sculpt. I almost don't want to take it off. I almost like it better than the Spider-Man mask that came on him, but just for size comparisons, I will go ahead and you know, I will go ahead and pop off, just because I feel like, you know, it wouldn't be truly accurate to compare him with these other characters while he's still got the unmasked head on. But I like that unmasked head, man. It looks so good. That was something that definitely was like a draw-in for me for this figure, for this version for sure, that I was like, you know what, I have to get that one right there, because that head sculpt, excuse me, that head sculpt looks amazing, and I was like, yeah, I don't see any other figure company beating that, so had to go for it. Oh, I forgot to mention also for the toes, or excuse me, the feet, he does have a hinge for the toes, so we can hinge the toes up that much, and obviously back to a neutral. So wanted to mention that real quick. But let's go ahead and get into size comparisons, because we've got a lot to look at. I've pulled quite the list of figures here to compare with this guy once I get him standing again. But yeah, I would say overall his balance is pretty good. He stands up pretty well. It's pretty easy to get him into a standing position, and you know, he actually feels like he's gonna be solid like once you get him standing up. Doesn't feel like a Marvel Legends where it's kind of like top heavy sometimes, where the feet just don't, you know, plant on the ground well and they kind of make it fall over easily. Dang, now as I say that, now I'm struggling with him, but let me see if I can get him standing. Earlier I had him standing very easily. Didn't take much effort at all. Let me just okay, there we go. Okay, now we got it. That's a nice solid position for him to be standing, and there you go. So there is MCU Spider-Man. Let's get him with his Marvel Legends civilian counterpart. We've got Peter Parker, Tom Holland Peter Parker, and I think they look pretty good. They're pretty much exactly in scale. I would say actually the Marvel Legends Peter is just slightly taller, but I think it makes sense because like if you count his hair, that's pretty much the only thing that's making him taller. So I feel like, you know, in a masked version of this, he would be pretty much the exact same height. So yeah, they look really good next to each other. I actually like this comparison a lot. And just to show you real quick, to do like a comparison of the likeness between this Marvel Legends and the you know, the Mafex head, here is the Marvel Legends Peter Parker, right? Here is the Mafex Spider-Man head next to it, so you can see a side-by-side comparison. And honestly, I feel like these both have great likenesses to Tom Holland, but yeah, like as I'm doing this comparison, now it kind of looks like the Mafex is a little more pale in the skin, like in comparison to the Marvel Legends. But to be honest, I feel like the Mafex has an even better likeness to Tom Holland as far as like realism goes. The Marvel Legends kind of has like a slightly more animated look, I feel like, in comparison. But these both have like great Tom Holland likenesses, so I like that a whole bunch. So I just want to mention that real quick. But yeah, there he is with his civilian mode. Let's get him with Ned and MJ. Why not? It's only right. His two compadres, two companions. Let's see here. Okay, got MJ standing next to him. And here we have Ned on his other side. And I think the three of them look absolutely fantastic next to each other. Height-wise, I think that's mostly right. I think maybe MJ could be like slightly taller, but I mean, I think they still look pretty good next to one another. I mean, she is taller than him by a little bit, but I think she could be even like just a little bit taller. But you do have that, and then Ned, I feel like is a little bit too tall, to be honest. I feel like he definitely should be shorter. Like he's shorter than Tom for sure. So the Marvel Legends Ned seems a little bit bigger than this Mafex Spider-Man. So, but I think you can still make it work for like a display if you wanted to do something with the three of these guys. So not too bad. But yeah, I'd say like the height between those three is a little bit off, but not too bad. You can definitely fudge it, make it work. Who else we got? We got to get him with the Spectacular Spider-Man, which we haven't looked at in ages. My boy. All right, the superposable Spectacular Spider-Man figure. And you can see standing next to each other, Spectacular Spider-Man is definitely a little bit bigger for sure. But I really like having these guys next to each other. Both have like very classic, Spider-Man looks and colors. So I like that a whole bunch. So there he is with the Spectacular Spider-Man. A goated figure. Here he is with the Amazing Spider-Man, No Way Home, Marvel Legends figure. Let's face him a little more that way. And you can see how much darker the colors are on this Amazing Spider-Man compared to the Tom Holland. Yeah, man, I still feel like Hasbro made his colors way too dark, but just wanted to, put that out there. But there he is with the Amazing Spider-Man. And of course, for his other side, we'll get him with the Tobey Maguire 2002 Spider-Man from Toy Biz. Straighten out those heads. All right, his head is a little lopsided. Let's see if I can straighten it just a bit. Okay, there we go. So there he is with his other two homies. All right. So there you go. So we've got the big three right there. All right, our No Way Home right there. Obviously, he was, Tom was in the integrated suit, but it's fine. Speaking of the integrated suit, here is a Marvel Legends integrated suit comparison. So here we have the integrated Marvel Legends. This is the first release of the integrated suit, not from the No Way Home 3-pack. But obviously, you can see by the lack of detail, right? But yeah, there they are, and they're pretty much almost exactly in scale. Obviously, different build for this Marvel Legends. He is a little bit bulkier for sure. And yeah, this is like the only Marvel Legends Tom Holland figure I have. But yeah, man, there he is with the integrated suit. All right, we're gonna start doing 2 figures at a time so we can get through this quicker. We're 48 minutes in. Here is the Mafex Iron Man Mark 45 next to Tom there, and I think they actually look pretty good in scale. From the camera, it might look like Tom is actually like kind of close in height to him, but he's actually like a significantly smaller for sure. Maybe if I straighten up my camera a bit. Let's see here. He's definitely a lot shorter, and I think they actually work in scale like very good. Like he actually looks like a kid next to this Iron Man, but I know the camera probably isn't doing the best job of showing that. But he actually looks really good in scale with this Iron Man. Just take my word for that one. Here he is with the ZD Toys in-game Thanos. So we definitely got to get this big guy. I'm going to end the video real quick, guys. I'll do a quick outro, and then I'll be back in a little bit, all right? I got to take this call. See y'all soon.